Queen Sephoria!
Finally! Took you long enough.
Let her go!
Yeah, I don't think so. And don't you dare come any closer. I've got an emblem ring. It'd be so easy to kill her.
Sorry, everyone. I didn't realize she was still on Elusia's side.
I don't see any other soldiers. Did you get in by yourself?
Uh-huh. I told the guards I'd been separated from Ivy, and they let me walk right in. Now, you've got a choice. Hand over the rings, or I kill the queen.
Hortensia, don't do this.
Ivy! It's been a while. You know, I thought you were dead. I was so relieved when I heard you'd made it. But now what? You're with them?
Well,
Since Father sacrificed himself, Elusia has been working in concert with Lord Sombron. But you? You abandoned us! Abandoned me! And took sides with the enemy! You're a traitor, Ivy! A stinking traitor!
I have not betrayed anyone. Hortensia, please, hear me out.
I don't want to hear another word out of your dirty, double-crossing mouth! Just give me the rings!
No, Hortensia. Never.
I'm sorry! Did I not make myself clear? Hand them over or I kill the queen!
I heard you. But I'm not doing what you ask. I'd be throwing away everything she, Tamara, Fogado, and the people of Solm have done. So no, I won't give you the rings. And I won't let you kill Queen Sephoria.
I agree with the Divine Dragon. Those rings are staying with us.
Right.
If we let the Fell Dragon have them, my country and my people are doomed. So threaten us all you want. Take my whole family hostage if it makes you happy. But I stand for Solm, and I always will.
There she is, the future Queen of Solm. And her ally, the Divine Dragon.
What's wrong with you? This is your mother! You're supposed to be scared! Cry already! Cower and beg for her life! Give me what I want! No, what I need! I need the rings! It's the only way to bring Father back!
Hortensia, he's gone. The Fell Dragon murdered him. You watched it happen. There's no way we can bring him back. Even with the rings.
You don't know that! I have to try! I have to save Father and Elusia! Everything's all wrong now! I just want to put it back how it was before!
I know how you feel.
No! Stop trying to get in my head, alright? I'll kill her! I'll do it!
I don't think you can. Not if you know the pain of losing a parent.
Well, get on with it then, if that's what you truly want. Are we doing this or aren't we?
She needs her sister now.
It's all right, Hortensia. Oh, I've been so worried about you.
Ivy?
I'm afraid I have to cut the reunion short.
Zephyr, what are you doing here?
Missed you too, Divine One. I must thank you for helping us gather so many rings. All of them, I thought. Until the princess's... rather, former princess's thievery came to light. Enough about that. More importantly, Princess Hortensia. Taking a ring without permission, sneaking off to a place like this. Naughty, naughty. Lord Sombron and Lady Vale's orders were clear. To wait, to watch. Oh, your retainers, by the way. They tried to stop us. They failed.
Where are they? What did you do to Gold Merrin Rosado?
You'll have to see for yourself. Now, we hadn't planned on making a move this early, but since we're here, it would be a shame to return home without a few souvenirs. Marnie, Mavier, wouldn't you agree?
More hounds.
I did not expect it would be so easy to enter the impregnable Solm Palace.
Zephyr, what do we do with the queen? Kill her? She's not much use anymore.
No, Lord Sombron will want to savor every last drop of sovereign blood.
Ah, I gotcha.
Queen Sephoria!
What a good girl you are, Princess Hortensia, coming here to get rings for Lord Sombron. Now that the three of us are here, why don't we help finish what you started? We can kill them all and head back home to Elusia. What do you say?
But I...
Come, dear. Take command. Just think. If we take their rings, we'll be so close to having all 12.
So close. Just a few more rings.
Hortensia? What's going on?
With all the rings, then Father will...
That's right. King Hyacinth will be resurrected. We'll make everything just as it was before.
Just as it was before.
I will kill them all. I will take their rings. It's the only way to save Father.
Is she really going to fight us?
Hortensia, snap out of it, please. Hortensia!
She can't hear you, unfortunately. Enjoy killing one another, won't you?
Welcome back to Solm Castle. Chapter 14 raises the stakes. It's the high point of this section of the game. We have a whopping 12 deployment slots, and we're fighting 4 bosses. There's a lot going on. Reminiscent of Chapter 10, there's 2 halves of the map that play quite differently. To start, we're going back to one of Engage's favorite setups, a big wall of flyer-only terrain that splits our army starting out. At this point, you could have a flyer spam team and ignore that obstacle, but for anyone on the ground, it's a long detour. There are a couple promoted enemies who can fly across the water and harass you while you're taking the scenic route. There's also a reward for taking it more slowly in that way, the 4 chests on the wings. The left side's relatively unimportant, with the Silver Spirit art and a Worm Slayer. But the right side has the handy Radiant Bow, and by far the best thing to come out of the chest since Anna, the boots. Thieves will spawn and go after these. I normally find rushing them down isn't too tricky, but you do have to make an effort. If you eliminate that time pressure, making methodical progress isn't that difficult. The first half of the map spreads the enemies out, so even if a few promoted guys are tough customers, you can overwhelm them with numbers. You also have 2 good enemy phase setups through Lucina and Ike. I think it's pretty common to split your team in 2, have each group push up the sides, and then spend a couple turns with most of the enemies gone where you're just recharging emblems, collecting loot, and readying to face the bosses. There are a few fairly tame reinforcements, but you can sit back and enjoy Bright Bold Sandstorm for a while. The throne room is a bit more exciting. This is the first enemy formation in a long time where a simple player phase rush has almost no shot at working. We've lost most of the movement tools that let us rush Hortensia's squad in Chapter 7, and Zephyr is a lot more than 6 tiles away from the edge of boss range. You normally have to enter the room, let Hortensia use Fracture to break you, and then let them take their pot shots before retaliating next turn. That's okay, because we have a lot of tools we didn't have in Chapter 7. Lucina, Lynn, and Ike all shine in these situations. After they get you in the door, a good team can then put together the player phase tools you need to clean up everyone but Hortensia, and from there it's mostly a formality. A one-turn cleanup of Zephyr and company is by no means free, especially without the DLC or if you have stragglers who didn't make it to the throne room. If you're worried about it, I do think this is a map where some prep work against those boss benchmarks goes a long way. Marnie is not too hard to one-round with magic, but if you have a unit who just needs a little help to reach the thresholds for Zephyr and Mauvier, that may be worth planning for. This is the first big open-ended map since we've acquired a full set of seals and recruited most of the playable units, and in some sense that makes this chapter a tone setter for the rest of the campaign. My goals here have given me problems I haven't faced before playing this map. We have a lot of objectives: rout the enemy, collect the loot, and perhaps pick up a few style points along the way. I don't have the Air Force you'd probably want for doing that as quickly as possible, but I do have a big team and a lot of emblems. That all comes together in a fun way here, even if it wasn't the simplest thing to put together. We'll get time to see everyone do their thing. The only team choice worth noting before we begin is that I only have 11 full-time team members right now, and 12 slots. That's normally how it goes here. If anything, it's rare to have that many. Pandreo's the one filling out my ranks. I've put him in Griffin and given him Reposition and Dex +2 with his starting SP. For a 12th deployment who doesn't need to train for the long haul, a 6 moved in flyer with 1-2 range, Reposition, and B-rank staves is about as good as it gets. Let's get started, shall we? Jean shows off what bow knights are best at, doubling a unit from 3 range with 6 movement. I fear I'm creating a monster. We need this guy alive, and Jean kept causing resets with that 12 crit. When you have 28 dex in chapter 14, every weapon feels like a steel weapon. Welcome back, Saline, I missed you. Despite her absence, she's still tied for my highest level unit. With her Sigurd Engraved Levin sword returned to her and Perceptive, she can guarantee the dodge here against the armor. Because these pillars cost an extra point of movement, it's hard for a mostly grounded team to keep pace. Alear can use Camilla's Chi Adept Vein, the ice from Tiki's Paralog, to give our units extra movement and help remedy this. This X-Fighter's on the pillar, but unlike the feat from Tiki's Paralog with over 100 avoid, this guy's really a pushover. Mystical units and L-Surge still work great, but you can also just hit him with Kagetsu. With so many staff users, coin flip hits like this are fine. We can heal up whoever needs it as we go. These hand-axe AIs are basically the saddest enemy we're going to see. They have a pathetic 9 attack speed and unimpressive stats elsewhere. If Silver Bow Sniper Citrinne is doubling for 28 damage, I think you need a career change. There's a promoted Wyvern who isn't a pushover. Kagetsu can bait him on enemy phase. This summon heroes purely for training purposes. In my rehearsals, I never had the hero do anything.
I wonder what hero will arrive.
Lakaya, you're alright. I missed you so much. I gotta check these stats. We'll stick to the plan now. On the left side, the two lance fighters are far enough apart that we can split them. Lapis handles one, Anna the other. Lapis needs a lance here, or else she wouldn't take any damage.
I won't let this go to my head.
You got it!
Awaiting orders.
This is one of the better places in the game for a big flying Great Ether. With proper forgers and support, it's definitely possible to cleanly one-shot everyone here, which would be important if you wanted to rush the bosses quickly. But since most of our units are taking the long way, Amber has plenty of time. There's another Wyvern back here who's a tough customer. He's just out of range turn 1, but Pandreo can fix that. Even a Wyvern with some impressive stats stands 0 chance against the Hurricane Axe's effective might. There's some unfortunate RNG in this enemy phase. We don't care if Citrinne crits here, although it was hard for me to test things, so we should have kept doing it in practice. Merrin needs to hit with a Hurricane Axe, and there's a Killer Lance Cav that sees 0 damage against Amber. Enemies here don't have Break or Chain AI, so he's activated but sees no valid targets except by taking the long way around the moat. At some point during my planning, I started moving units far enough to the right that he'd sometimes go that way. With one more action, I could obstruct again to hem him in, but alas, we just gotta risk it. I'm surprised it seems to be totally random. One would think the enemy would prefer one target over another. This enemy phase is going flawlessly. Fun crit animations, and 500 G. I gave Anna a luck tonic because she's facing enemy crit next turn, but maybe it's 5xing my investment.
That was cool, was it not?
won't let anyone die.
Amber will take out the cav who attacked him and heal back up. Alear can break the wyvern and use him for movement.
I have it!
Getting one-rounded by Longbow Citrinne is quite the ignominious end. You might think, but that's a longbow with effective damage. Of course flyers can't handle that. So you'd think. Kagetsu got to show off last map, so it's only fair Ivy does the same here. She can take out the promoted sniper without any support, which feels pretty absurd. The enemy 6% crit here is unfortunately also part of the Ivy experience, but it's hard to ask for more. She'd even have the bulk to tank and one-round the flyer had Citrinne not sniped her. By staying in place, Kagetsu ensures he can always attack the wyvern, because the wyvern had to move to a square to attack him.
Unfortunate.
Saline finishes off the axe fighter. She could heal a Citrinne crit.
All flowers eventually wilt.
Micaiah ought to at least do something, right? Jean crits his first attack most of the time anyway, but here we've guaranteed he stays healthy. The DLC's Camilla Engrave is notable for having crit without reducing might, which is pretty great on player phase weapons where the dodge penalty doesn't matter. Jean doesn't really need to stay healthy, so it's not like this ended up doing much, but I'm just happy to see Micaiah again.
I need to be more diligent.
Chloé gets per attack in Fairy Tale Folk, so this benchmark is totally free. What time is it?
It's tea time! I'm sorry.
Anna can one-round the thief using Chaos Style, which isn't bad for a unit without an emblem.
A slight setback.
With that luck tonic, this is almost totally... Oh, come on. Steel's having 10 crit is such a fun differentiator.
Or at least see my family again.
Let's try this again. Next attack is Amber. His job is to break the cav so Merrin can Raging Storm without taking a counter. Alright, will Lightning strike twice? Well, it always doesn't engage, but you get what I mean. Phew. Anna may be injured, but with Bonded Shield support, she's still able to do a monster enemy phase. The right armor can't reach Anna, so Lapis has the hammer for him.
Let's go together!
Pandreo heals Merrin up, who's then able to rocket deep into enemy lines with Raging Storm.
Understood. Our time has come.
Uh-huh. 97% of the time, anyway. You know, I thought about the Dex tonic given the Hurricane Axe last turn, but I thought I'd get away with it. So much for that. Surely I'll remember to heal Merrin again, right?
I must focus.
Right?
Emblem, engage.
Not a great look to get tilted by mild setbacks, but keep in mind this is not my first recording of this app. It takes me a few seconds to realize my mistake. Alright, rewind time. I find a new mistake to make by misplacing Amber. He shouldn't let the Great Knight attack him from the pillar. Pandreo heals again, and this time we're going to hit, aren't we, Merrin?
With pride.
Our time has come. I will strike you down. That was cool, was it not?
All is forgiven. Very cool. Alright, Anna, don't let me down.
I'm pretty tough, you know.
All is forgiven for you too. 500G is redemption enough for me.
Emblem, engage!
Merrin can take out the Griffin. If Anna dodges, then the Thunder Mage sees non-lethal damage on both Merrin and Anna. I had initially given Anna the Anna S ring for the memes, but that'd actually be a problem here. Griffin's resistance is coming in handy. Bonded Shield doesn't have to be the only solution to every problem or demand every resource you have. Here, it's letting Anna take out a bunch of enemies with no emblem, a base L-Fire we got for free from Chapter 10, and no stat boost in Inheritance. There isn't a long list of units who could do what she's doing right now. She needed Cantor and appreciated Chaos Style, so Ivy and Pandreo don't cut it. And there's no one else who would have made me 1000G while doing it.
Watch out! I'm pretty tough, you know.
Simple enough.
Pandreo didn't need to take this hit, but doing so ensures consistent positioning and makes sure I get as many player phase kills as I can for bond rank. Alright, Amber, you're gonna have to bail me out. Never punished.
That settles it.
I won't let this go to my head.
We're through the worst of it. Alear keeps helping us move forward. Citrinne just wants a canter boost. Jean will clean up.
I have to keep everyone safe.
Ivy continues doing just Ivy things by rescuing her retainer. There are only 2 units who can fly and rescue right now, and Griffin Pandreo would fare much worse against the sniper. I somehow picked 2 rescues up from the Ancient Well, so I'm even less worried about spending them than usual. Getting the physic ranges to work out requires some subtlety in my move order. We want to heal Kagetsu up before he starts doing his thing. Chloé could do that, but contracting Sailing gives him more training. This section of the map has Stiletto Wolf Knight sporting 24 speed and a Berserker with 55 HP. That combination is brutal. Sure, with the right inherits and forages, with an emblem like Lyn, you can make it work, but there really isn't any simple build that hits both 41 physical attack and 29 attack speed. Kagetsu's 5 off here. Just for reference, I'll note that a rigged meal plus Folkvanger's attack plus 3 boost would have guaranteed this. But without either that or a fancy Lyn unit, you're gonna need a crit. We can't afford that miss. I was just going to sing Kagetsu's praises for having 97 true hit against a promoted Wolf Knight on a void terrain, but not after that. Amber is somehow the most reliable unit in this clear.
Just like a hero.
Alright, please Kagetsu.
become one.
No. Yes.
We could have been friends.
I think that miss was something I could have foreseen from the random sequence. Pandreo can attack the mage, which shows off his res and lets Lapis get more bond rank with an all-for-one kill.
I will never give up!
I swear!
Who's next?
Anna can take out the remaining armor and canter towards the middle. Generally speaking, infantry units are the hardest benchmarks in the game. You don't get effective damage as a cheat code, and they're often a tough mix of fast and bulky. I've been eyeing this benchmark in particular for a while. Axe Griffin Merrin with bond rank 7 from 3 houses, a Marthingrave Nóatún +4, and +2 strength speed from Tonics or Cooking hits the benchmark exactly against these promoted halberdiers, 23 AS to double, 41 physical attack to 1 round. While it also makes sense in other ways, this is one of the main reasons Merrin's an Axe Griffin. Fence Alear can't do this. Given how much I've tried to avoid big forges so far, that I'm using a +4 here should indicate just how little margin you have. If you're trying to play along at home, you can make your life a bit easier by inheriting speed and going into Wyvern for an extra 2 strength. As often in Engage, these kinds of benchmarks are a lot of fun to plan for in the context of a clear, even if they're not that hard to hit in a spreadsheet. Kagetsu and my emblems can only be in one place at a time. This sort of approach only works if your 4th best unit is also capable of enemy phase combat. I really enjoy that sort of planning in Engage. It's never just about a single unit in isolation, but rather how each fits into a wider team with limited resources. This clear only works because Anna didn't need Camilla, and Kagetsu didn't need Nóatún. Just because 2 units can hit the same benchmark doesn't mean they're interchangeable.
Try again. Precision and power. Unfortunate.
That was cool, was it not?
Will Kagetsu get this kill at 76% odds? It's okay, Kagetsu. You tried your best. We'll get him next time. The 80 hit here looks bad, but it's 90% reliable because a crit works.
I am sorry.
You know, I never thought a Citrinne strength tonic would be in my preps. That's the backup plan here. Well, most of the time.
All right.
Amber's Lucina engraved Représailles won't let me down. Over a long map, reliability is in a very real sense a resource you're spending and saving. I've had unusually eventful RNG, but regardless I think it's worth building a team with the time crystal in mind. If you're going to have Ivy do a lot of work on her own, there's no panacea that makes her 100% reliable with no downsides. Maybe that's not the run you want a shaky dodge tank, making those enemy phases even scarier. Conversely, if you end every map with all your rewinds unused, you can probably afford to route in a couple 70% Jean crits. Kagetsu would be more than fine by himself, but with Citrinne tagging along, he can use his turn for training with Divine Blessing. Merrin's by her lonesome, so she gets started on destruction early. I did say this map was hard to play without a little uneventful moving around, and we're seeing that here. Everyone outside the throne room is dead, but we're pretty far away from the entrance. This is a good time to rest up and recharge if you need it, and you can always go grab the loot first, but this is where our squad splits up. Alear helps Chloé and Saline approach the middle. Conveniently, Chloé's XP guarantees Saline has a target.
I will not be cut down.
No mistakes.
We'll have Pandreo and Merrin handle the western treasure, Citrinne and Kagetsu handle the eastern treasure, and everyone else advancing down the middle. There's a few fun small optimizations. Amber can reposition Lapis to give her 3 spaces of movement after she picks up the energy tile. We want the first few fighters in the throne room to come to us, so we're setting up for that. They're kinda scary given that our best benchmark hitters are getting loot. I was supposed to have Alear use Frostfang again, but oh well, it wasn't really necessary. Having at least a little breathing room like this, where you can heal everyone up and reset to a clean base regardless of the previous randomness, is quite important for my planning. I can be sure anyone I need healthy is healthy by this point.
My will is firm.
Milla's Soar has a dragon synergy, bringing back the skill Savage Blow from Fates. After a player phase attack, enemies within 2 spaces take damage equal to 10% of their max HP. That little bit of chip damage helps when your best units are literally sidelined. Lapis moves next to activate Dual Assist, and Saline can grab the kill with Alear support.
I grow weary. Here! All flowers eventually wilt.
This part has a bit of improv because there are some differences in placement from my planning, and Saline probably wanted a water tome for reliable chip last enemy phase. The only crucial bits are where Lapis, Amber, and Anna go. Amber uses Cantrip to get an important 2 squares, and by doing that he also gives Chloé extra hit on her attack.
You got it!
Me first!
just like a hero.
Anna can then L-Surge to guarantee the final kill.
I'm pretty tough, you know.
That 500G is not guaranteed, but I'll take it. Mavier seems like he's in range of Anna, but he won't rush ahead. This looks to be based on an area trigger. I haven't spent much time trying to figure out how you can cheese this, but on a cursory look at this map scripting, it does seem like you can probably split the hounds up effectively if you're careful. Merrin picks up the Silver Spirit art, which is mostly useless. You know what isn't mostly useless? The Radiant Bow. As we'll see, this is basically the Elios equivalent to a sniper rifle. Kagetsu can grab the oh-so-important boots. There's a few reinforcements who spawn this turn, but compared to the promoted foes from earlier, they're easy pickings. Pandreo picks up the Wormslayer, which a certain swordsman might appreciate. Only one cav has 1-2 range, so Merrin can simply eliminate him on her turn. While the Solm Castle space is quite fun, I must say there's probably a reason you don't see many flying animals inside palaces. The camera is not having an easy time of things. I'm supposed to check if Kagetsu survives here, the biting blade's here if he needs it, but otherwise he can use the boots. In my excitement to give him his gift, I missed the second red X indicating a double poison stack. That's plus 3 damage, so he actually takes 9 times 2. Don't worry, I'm sure the sort of clutch master that deserves those boots in the first place will come through for me. Alright, time to take on the 4 hounds. Well, 3. There are a lot of ideas here. Asher Storm can aggro someone like Mavier, you can dodge tank, there's Lucina, Ike, Lynn doubles, all the stuff we've come to know and love. Last time in Lucina's paralogue, I tried to find a fancy setup that ensured consistent positioning and all that jazz. This map's less conducive to that, because the close quarters mean every foe has multiple squares to attack from, and it's a lot easier to do trial and error when the map takes a minute or 2 to retry. I'm instead going to do what I'd normally do when facing this sort of obstacle. Throw my enemy phase unison through the middle, hope for the best, and see what happens. Anna's able to get some licks in before retreating to Bondage Shield safety.
Your army is not to be trifled with. Because I respect you, I will hold nothing back.
Yes.
Marnie's Hurricane Axe is pretty scary, even with plus 10 res. Ivy can one-run Marnie before getting hit, so in theory you could probably set things up to ensure Marnie can't target Amber, but this works. Most of the time. If Amber gets pushed away from Lapis, it's definitely over for him, so an Obstruct makes things a little more likely to work out. Mavier will attack Anna here, so everyone else can get a little closer than the purple shading indicates. Chloé has a free turn, so let's see what kind of summon we can get.
It's just like my fairy tales. You will be mine!
No Micaiah, but a Great Knight's fine by me. Great Ether hard counters Fracture, so we're good there.
No.
The stolen rings. You'll return them, won't you?
Alright, Lapis, you've seen Amber's res, right? You know tanking a Hurricane Axe is not going to end well? You're going to dual guard?
Solm Palace is so pretty. It's a nicer tomb than you deserve. Watch out!
Excellent. I'll admit that this is not quite the Leroy Jenkins approach I'm making it out to be. I'm planned enough to know, for instance, that the backup unit won't attack in the order necessary to kill Anna through chain attacks, and that the setup broadly does what I need it to do. Still, I wouldn't recommend anyone at home try and copy some sort of exact formation here. Instead, I'd take whatever tools you have available, call it doubles, Great Ether, Bondage Shield, etc., and feel free to spend a rewind or two figuring out something that sets you up for success next turn. Never doubted you, Kagetsu. I think that's our last redemption arc completed.
I am sorry.
That was cool, was it not?
Amber takes care of the riffraff. Alright, so we've reached the point in the video where a million RNG things have compounded on top of each other, and I'm facing a situation I haven't seen before in planning, at least not exactly. There's going to be a lot more annoying RNG things coming up, because we're facing bosses with good evasion. Here, I take some time to think through my options and work around my RNG. A reasonable approach, given the ups and downs the RNG gods have dealt me, would be to play conservatively for these last two turns and make sure I don't have to re-record this whole thing from scratch. Or, I could see a couple pieces of lucky RNG and spend all of my remaining rewinds over half an hour trying to figure out how to preserve them. I chose option B. This is my last rewind. Let's hope I don't mess up, shall we? From now on, I actually get to use the meme excuse for any obvious mistakes in this play. We are actually manipulating the RNG. Even the fact that Amber says a different line of dialogue here made me nervous, god. Alright, so Pandreo heals Merrin. Ivy can rescue Merrin into the throne room. I'd originally planned a rewarp with Obstruct to protect her from Marnie, but that was a more leisurely iteration. Here we need Merrin to have her turn.
Understood.
Alear can take out Mauvir's final bit of health. Often he has more and someone else has to pitch in, because Anna's first few L-fires weren't reliable.
Here! You don't disappoint.
We get another Savage Blow activation. One subtlety of my formation last turn is that Alear's within 2 tiles of all 3 hounds. Anna can roast Marnie with or without Savage Blow, but against Zethia, every point matters.
I'm pretty tough, you know.
Chloé can give Alear a chance to show off her dialogue against Zethia. Alear got a magic tonic, so this will do a whopping 1 damage. Zethia's durable.
Well, if it isn't my favorite lizard, how's Solm treating you? Don't you worry, your friends are safe with me. Sigurd, Celica, Micaiah, Mom.
You!
Oh, did you want to see them? Shame I didn't bring them with me. Couldn't have you taken them, could I?
She seems nice. 1 times 2 takes Zethia down to 34, which means after Savage Blow she's at 31. After I almost mess up the order from my notes, which would have cost me this whole recording and all of Anna's winning so far, I come to my senses and move Merrin first. She can use Alear's chip damage to take this kill exactly with Raging Storm.
Emblem, engage! You were a worthy opponent.
Now Saline can finish off Marnie. She'll get more intimidating in the future, but never more so than the other hounds. She does have A+ dialogue here.
Beaten by a bunch of weaklings. The floor's slippery. That's the only reason I lost. I'm going home.
Fantastic. I kinda stole her thunder with my Ancient Will luck, but a free Hurricane Axe is a big deal. We'll see if I ever need 2 of them. Jean's a player phase machine at this point. Zethia doesn't stand a chance. Having a few player phase specialists makes maps like this much easier, especially as the game goes on and it becomes harder and harder to do this without conditional skills like Lunar Brace.
You're quite strong. That would have been too easy, I suppose. We'll meet again soon enough.
With his spur attack, Merrin could exactly one-run Mauvir, but that led to a low % miss later. Man, theme of the day right there.
I'll help.
I must focus.
I'll strike you down.
My orders do not involve dying. I take my leave.
Lapis and Amber will take care of this monk and show how Hortensia behaves. Now that we've activated the 4 hounds, she can move, but she's still coded to use Fracture over her weapons. Like in Chapter 7, her AI seems to be set up assuming she's not the only one left on the map. Citrinne's messing around for some bond rank. Consider this Chekhov's bow.
Emblem, engage!
Jean starts us off against Hortensia. Ivy has unique dialogue here, but the way things worked out, I wasn't able to show it. I will continue to try and do that where I can, but I have bigger fish to fry. This series isn't a replacement for other videos showing all that stuff.
I must get the rings. I must save Father. No.
Alear can take this kill, always nice to give her XP where I can, and start Phase 2.
I'll manage.
I'll help.
Dream well.
I will defeat you. It's the only way to...
The emblem is surging with Fell Dragon energy. Be on your guard.
Hortensia introduces us to enemy rampages. After losing a health bar, Hortensia gains access to new abilities from her emblem. This will be the standard for enemies with emblems going forward. We're not going to see Byleth engage attack here. We'll get another chance on his parallax, that's not so bad. These reinforcements, if you couldn't guess, are also triggered by Hortensia losing a health bar. Just for completeness, there's also another set of reinforcements on turns 12 and 13, flyers coming in from the entrance. These guys aren't that scary, but we're routing the map because we can. Ivy and Amber can easily take out their assignments.
Here.
That settles it.
Merrin is very fast and strong, as usual. This is not an easy one round.
That was cool, was it not?
Lapis can use All for One both for Bond rank and for a weakening hit that can't crit against Hortensia and prematurely end the match. Now you're going to see what cost me my rewinds. It'd be cool if Chloé crit here, right?
I'm ready to dig in.
Simple enough.
What would be the funniest last turn for Anna, given my luck? This is one of my favorite crit quotes in the game. Such venom. And of course we make a killing. The rewinds were worth it. Of course, there was only ever one way this is going to end. Not with sailing Elwind, although I will let her get one last healing. Gotta keep her on the level curve, right? It's Citrinne's turn. Target acquired. Locking in coordinates. Tactical nuke incoming. This will get more impressive in the future with forges and divinely inspiring and so on, but it's already powerful enough to one-shot any of the 4 reinforcements that just spawned.
Why does nothing go my way?
Very cool. Gosh, maybe Griffin isn't such a thankless support class after all.
Ivy, what happened?
Oh, you've come back to me. Thank goodness.
Where'd all the Illusian soldiers go?
They retreated.
I should go with them.
No, it's not safe. Zephyr could take control over you again.
But I was the last person left at Illusia Castle. Without me, there'll be no one to lead. No one to take care of the country Father left behind.
That is true. But it's out of our hands.
How can you say that? Don't you care about Illusia at all?
Of course I do. I would have given my life to protect our kingdom, but it is not our kingdom anymore. It's the Fell Dragons. Surely you see that.
Princess Ivy.
I didn't want to admit it. But Father stopped being king as soon as the Fell Dragon awoke. Since then, true power has rested with Sombron, his daughter, and the 4 hounds. If you went back now, you would become an instrument of their designs, just as Father was. I want to go home too. You have no idea how badly. But there's no home to go back to until we defeat the Fell Dragon. After allowing Father to relinquish his power to Sombron. We owe our people no less.
The castle. My only home since I was little. We really can't go back now, can we?
No. We can't.
That little nook where I had tea with my friends. The garden where you and I read together. Even Rosado and Goldmary. I've left everything and everyone behind. All right, Ivy. I'll join this fight. So that someday, things can be like they were again.
Thank you, Hortensia.
I'm really sorry for what I did. Divine One, you should have this.
The ring of the instructor. One of the rings stolen from Lethos. Thank you for returning it.
Don't give me too much credit. I wasn't exactly planning to hand it over.
Even so, you have my thanks. Teach us. Emblem of the Academy!
I am Emblem Byleth. It feels as though I've just awoken from a very long dream. I'm glad to be where I belong, at your side. Use my power to guide everyone.
I will. Thank you, Emblem Byleth.
So, how is everyone?
Queen Sephoria, you're all right.
That I am. Some Illusion soldiers tried to seize me, but I was saved at just the right moment.
We took him down!
Alfred and I intended to help.
But by the time we'd drawn our weapons, the fight was already over.
That's the Solm Royal Guard for you. Pretty good, right?
I'm just glad the Queen is safe. Well done, everyone.
Well done yourself. No more trespassers. My palace is rid of them. Divine One, thank you for protecting the rings and my family with such courage. The way you spoke, the look in your eyes. You were the spitting image of Queen Lumera.
Your words mean so much. Thank you.
Excuse me, Queen Sephoria?
You! I assumed you had gone back to Illusia.
Look, I'm really sorry about what I did. I'll accept whatever punishment you give me.
I owe you an apology as well.
Queen Sephoria, please. Zephyr was using some sort of magic to control Princess Hortensia. As soon as it wore off, she stopped fighting. Even gave me her emblem ring.
I don't recall Zephyr being there when the young princess held me hostage. Look me in the eyes, you two.
Okay.
Threatening a queen's life is a grave crime. You deserve a room in the dungeons. But I won't send you there.
You won't?
It was the Fell Dragon's minions who broke in and started the conflict, right? Your only crimes were slipping in uninvited and threatening to kill me. If you want to make amends, defeat the Fell Dragon. Rebuild your kingdom. When cooler heads return to Illusia, Solm can only benefit. Let's move on now, shall we?
Thank you, Queen Sephoria.
Your show of compassion will not be forgotten. We will restore Illusia. I swear it.
For my part, I think I'd better look into shoring up the palace's defenses.
You're right. The Fell Dragon's forces might come back for you. I can leave some soldiers here to help keep you safe.
Oh, no need, no need. I have lots of family members who can handle things here. If the situation really boils over, I can always leave a double here and wander the land. So don't worry about me. You just focus on taking out the Fell Dragon.
We will. Thank you.
Tamara, it's time you showed the Divine Dragon where to find Solm's other ring.
Sure thing, Mom. One ring of the Crux of Fate coming right up.
Where is it?
The Northern Fortress. Oh, you don't scare easily, do you?
This is one of the cooler post-battle exploration spaces to walk around, so we'll do just that. Seeing Hortensia's dialogue again, I'm reminded of how I think Engage does a great job characterizing kids. Many fictional teenagers are either basically adults, or worse, adults who make the worst possible decisions whenever the plot needs it. Without getting into the can of worms that is Engage's internal ages, I do see some characters set up to contrast the majority of the cast in age and maturity, and I appreciate that variety.
Thanks.
People like Lan remind me of myself when I was younger, and I find Hortensia's dialogue including this map similarly believable. I think Engage's general kindness to its characters works quite well here. It's not a game that takes joy in punishing naivete. A lot of my favorite supports are the many sweet moments the game gives the younger cast.
Divine One.
I've already said my piece on Anna, of course, and that's another example of a character that really clicks with memories of my own childhood. I also really like how the older characters are distinguished in part by how they interact with the kiddos. Sephoria doesn't get much screen time, but when I see her treat Hortensia this way, it gives me the sense of a compassionate, thoughtful ruler. In this chit-chat, however, Hortensia is more than simply a story character, she's a unit we just recruited. Let's get to know her. Welcome to the team, Hortensia. Only had to beat you 3 times. Like her sister, Hortensia has a unique tome flying class, and that's the best place to start. Unlike Ivy, a tome user first and a staff user second, Hortensia is a staff user who can use tomes in a pinch. Her Sleipnir rider has S staves and B tomes to mirror Ivy. She has a healer's stat spread, good resistance, speed, and luck, but poor damage and awful build. She's a long way from being a great mage. On the bright side, her personal ability, Big Personality, gives healing states, warp, rewarp, and illume, +1 range. On an average run of mine, this is one of the best personal abilities in the game. You can often replace a physic with a mend at 2 range. It's rare I see this used for something truly irreplaceable. For me, it's often covering for a positioning error or enabling my hoarding problem. But it can enable otherwise impossible maneuvers, and even if it's just saving you rewinds or prep time, that's nothing to scoff at. Her personal class skill World Tree, a proc skill that conserves staff uses, is at once amazing and not very good. If you're unwilling to plan around rigging it, it'll at most save you a little cash. On the other hand, staves like Entrap are balanced in part around their durability. The extra use of that can really change how you approach the endgame gauntlet. Hortensia has the most clearly defined role in Engage, save the next recruit. In the next few chapters, the game's power level really skyrockets. We start unlocking powerful late game builds and powerful emblem synergies, and our enemies all promote and come at us in ever greater numbers. Healing by committee will become more restrictive. Our Saleen's now getting Byleth's Goddess Dance in 4-range tomes. Our Ivy will soon get Coring for much needed crowd control. Our Chloé will eventually unlock Reprisal Plus and obtain the Flame Lance. They can all spare turns for staves, but not without some thought. At the same time, maps will begin consistently giving us 12 deployments. If you're not making a video series, you may not have a 12th unit you've been planning for since the beginning. Given all that, it makes sense to deploy a dedicated staff user with a high base level. Hortensia sweetens the deal with unique access to the best staff class in the game and the best personal in the game for staves, besides maybe Alear's convoy access. You almost have to go out of your way to not use Hortensia. Have her pick up Divine Pulse and Staff Mastery for amazing staff hit rates, maybe throw in a support skill at Quality Time or the DLC's Geosphere, get Cantor as soon as possible, and Hortensia's all set. That's not to say you need to use her. There's 2 reasons you wouldn't have Hortensia on staff duty with Byleth or Micaiah: benching her or putting her in the combat. Benching her makes more gameplay sense than it would for Ivy. Hortensia's class leans towards being a staff-oriented flyer. Griffin Knights already have C+ rank staves, so that's not a meta-defining niche the way Tomes plus Flight is for Hortensia's big sister. Fracture, Recover, Rescue, and Warp are all useful at B rank. For now, Ivy and Pandreo are Hortensia's only competitors for flying B rank staves. Many teams will want Ivy and Pandreo doing other things, so Hortensia is still useful even with them deployed, but she's not quite as irreplaceable as Ivy. Fortify and Entrap are A rank and Notice is S rank. The latter is irrelevant. It requires donating a large fortune and doesn't require a flyer to use well. Fortify and Entrap are interesting, and in particular, flying Entrap's cool over impassable terrain. But by the point in the game you're using those tools, you don't often need flight. Rewarp, Physic, Mend, and Obstruct are all usable by any Griffin, and for a lot of gameplay they cover your bases. It's also worth noting that Micaiah's Cleric gives anyone up to A staves later in the game. If you're using Warp later, it's probably with Augment, so at most Hortensia's class is saving you some bond fragments. Hortensia's personal is more distinctive than Ivy's, but it's not all that necessary in many places. Hortensia's magical offense really is rough, but I'm not going to say it's impossible to make Hortensia work in combat. Using wind tomes for anti-air dogfighting is unique to the Illusion Royal family, at least without DLC. She's a good coring user for basically the same reasons I pitched it for Ivy. Flying 3-range Dreadful Aura opens up exciting options. Since she's often using Micaiah, you might be tempted to try Nosferatu tanking, but Hortensia's stat spread is essentially the polar opposite of what you'd want for that. I'd think of these builds as something to pursue as a big Hortensia fan, or on teams where Ivy's doing something else and you desperately want another tome-wielding flyer. These aren't builds you pursue because Hortensia's stats set her up for them well. Hortensia is fantastic on most runs. She's the consensus best staff user in the game. By how much and how valuable that is depends a lot on how you play. Even if her unique traits don't always matter as much as you might think. In a game where Micaiah gives staff rank and many of the best staves are widely accessible, her ability to thrive without investment frees up resources for your other units. She is the kind of efficient support unit that can do more with less, so your favorite training project can do more with more. And her excellent personal skill and unique class means there's always situations she's irreplaceable. Despite her character design, she's no frills on the battlefield, a workhorse utility unit who normally operates out of the limelight. She's had a rough time of things so far, so it's hard not to root for her thriving now. We also just got a brand new emblem, Byleth. That's definitely worth a look. Byleth is our 3rd support emblem after Micaiah and Lucina. That should set sky-high expectations, and even if he's not quite on their level, Byleth delivers. He has quite a big toolbox, so get your popcorn and buckle in, we're taking a deep dive. Byleth has the best engage attack in the game, Goddess Dance. It lets anyone adjacent to the user move again. Who needs quadruple hit when you have quadruple turn? It's vital for fast boss kills, letting an elite commando squad chew through boss health bars. Goddess Dance also lets you double up on engage meter turns, so your powerful Lin user can use Moolah Gear twice. Even in more casual contexts, engaged Maddening loves to punish you for dawdling. Goddess Dance often lets you keep your army moving forward as reinforcements chase you. Hopefully you have lots of Cantor inherits, because it really helps you maximize those. Beyond that superb highlight, Byleth's an odd grab bag. His stat bonuses are incredible. Magic and speed are the two best basic stats, and you don't have an alternative for getting both at once. From there, he becomes quite different depending on his user. Each battle style has a different level 1 engage weapon. Some are instead items, granting a passive bonus along with a dex % chance to have incoming damage. And a stat buff that they give both through Instruct and Engage action buffing everyone within 2 squares, and Goddess Dance. That means I have a lot to talk about here. Dragons give +3 to every basic stat, which is as good as it sounds. If you have Dragon Alear, it's often specifically for this bonus. It's one of the few that makes Divine Dragon Alear feel worth the hassle. Dragons get Alear as a weapon, which doesn't mesh with Dragon Alear stats, but that's fine. It wasn't going to be better than Rally Spectrum either way. If you want your favorite unit to be a superstar but their natural stats don't cut it, this is an option to keep in mind. Covert units give +5 speed, which can't be underestimated. Their weapon is Fail Not, which we've already seen. That's fantastic, and it's especially good for a level 1 weapon. For something you're using at most 2 or 3 turns, no weapon's going to replace Goddess Dance. Fail Not's perfect. There are many places in the game you can have a unit duel Thoron mages or Longbow users for a turn or two, clear them up, and then return to more of a support role. Fail Not's much better than a basic Longbow for that job, and you can use it in Thief. Mystical units give +4 magic, which is useful, but the real prize is Thyrsus. This item passively grants tome range +2. Much like Fail Not, there are a few places in the game this is extremely valuable, but it's not something where the time limit is too bothersome. 4 range is actually not that useful, because basically no enemies have it, but 3 range Elserts can really come in handy. 5 range Thoron is also fun, and I'm sure you could find places this lets you cheese something over impassable terrain. It's also worth noting that many mystical units like Sage Pandreo or Anna love Byleth's bonuses. Flying units get Res +5 and Luin, a lance that adds 1 damage for every 3 speed you have. Neither is great, especially that dud of a stat buff, but the point here is Flying Goddess Dance. There are places you can just send your Air Force over impassable terrain and skip otherwise problematic maps. Luin's certainly not awful either. Fast flyers often appreciate a weapon effective against dragons with high might. Those are the most common options, but I'll be thorough. Cavalry give Dex +10, which is situational but worth keeping in mind, and Aridfar, Dimitri's Lance, granting +50% might, 7 damage, on entire phase. If you do have Byleth on a cavalry unit, it's probably a mage like Anna, who mainly wants the stat bonuses, but it's worth keeping these options in mind. I'm never unhappy about my boss squad getting 100 hit, and if you want to do funny proc skill stuff, +10 is a lot. Backups give Strength +4 and get Blutgong, a magical sword effective against dragons and cavalry. There are no magical backup classes, or even ones with especially good mixed stats, so this one's a bit of a puzzle. The world is not yet ready for the Jade Halberdier Byleth meta, I'm afraid. The Strength boost is worth noting because Strength is a stat where a few points can make all the difference. If you're playing a short map and need 1 big Great Ether, here you go, and unlike Dragon, you'll often just have a backup ready on your team. I'm reaching a bit, but there's also something of a synergy here with the backups themselves. And attacks are a kind of support that requires a unit to be near the front lines, much like Instruct or Goddess Dance. Armored units get the Aegis Shield, giving 6 defense and 3 resistance. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend I've ever used this. Giving Goddess Dance to an armor really limits your options, and I basically never have an armored unit by this point in the game. It seems fun. Last, and probably also least, we have Chi Adepts, who give Luck +10 and get the Raphael Gem, an item preventing critical hits and effective damage. Astute listeners may note that Chi Adepts don't take effective damage. If I really squint, I can see this on Martial Master Alear as a mix-up every so often. I don't know, it feels like you could have saved that second seal and ended up with a better unit. My favorite thing about Alear for this is that it makes the Raphael Gem's effectiveness do something, because Alear always takes effective dragon damage, even in non-dragon classes. And it'll be so helpful the next time we face Hortensia with Luin. Oh wait. Byleth rewards resourceful play, because everything I've covered so far is bond rank 1. If you remember these bonuses exist, you can often temporarily reassign him for a map, so a unit hits a crucial benchmark, or the Byleth user gets a hard-to-replace tool like Fail Not. His other engage weapons, the ones everyone gets, are useful but don't define him. Vajra Mushti hits on the lower of the opponent's defensive stats, which is handy, and it's a fist weapon anyone can use. There are places in the game you might want to punch someone while mounted, but with so many other things competing for your precious engage turns, it's not always a natural choice. Sword of the Creator is a 1-2 range sword with 11 might and 7 weight, not bad. it adds 1 damage for every 3 magic, so like the fists, it favors mixed offense. Many Byleth units are happy using magic for 1-2 range, however, and this is definitely no Binding Blade. I think the main niche it has is against mages. A lot of Byleth's preferred partners have great resistance, so this lets you enemy phase mages on their weaker side even if your strength isn't great. When you're most interested in Goddess Dance in combat, Byleth has a clearly defined niche. His bonuses are best for mages, in particular mystical units. Sages often make great Byleth partners. Byleth doesn't give the full Lyn speed package, so units like Citrinne need more help. But Sage, Chloé, or Pandreo often double with SP plus Inherit and Byleth, and give you much higher magic than an average Lyn build with the same double damage. On a Bondage Shield Sweeper, Byleth's certainly handy, but there is something of a tension there. One of your best units is the only one who can't get an Instruct boost or Goddess Dance. There's nothing wrong with seeing Byleth as a stat buff with extra steps and ignoring those synergies, of course, but I do think Byleth clicks a bit more if you use him in more of a mixed combat support role. Someone like Sage Citrinne can support another mage's magic, dance, and use staves when their combat isn't required, and then if you need a 4-range snipe or someone in 1-rounded general, you have that option. Byleth has an ability specifically for these sorts of units, Divine Pulse. It's pretty interesting. If your unit would have missed, you'll have a chance to turn that miss into a hit. 30 plus your luck, and then 50 plus your luck with Divine Pulse plus. I'll spare you the math, but the gist is that this is most effective for inaccurate attacks. Otherwise, you're better off just boosting your base hit. There's a particular niche with status staves, as Hortensia has demonstrated. Those have awful hit rates that can't be boosted through your supports and only go up 1 percentage point for every dex, instead of the normal 2. Divine Pulse is cheap to inherit, and for a unit who really needs to hit a freeze on a map, there's little opportunity cost to using it. This is where the more staff-oriented mystical classes, Vidam and High Priest, find a niche. Zaylin's luck can get so high in Vidam and High Priest that Divine Pulse Plus completely removes her chances to miss. Byleth himself gives a huge plus 12 luck to help you do that. I'd be remiss not to mention Byleth's a popular Ana partner for that expected 60G a kill. Considered soberly, however, Divine Pulse only changes how you play, almost exclusively for offensive staves against difficult opponents. That niche is small, but it turns out to be quite valuable. I'd recommend you work towards Wanderer 18 with a staff user if you want to build in some margin for the difficult late-game maps. Lost and Found, giving support rank boosts randomly from adjacency, takes support unit a bit more literally than I mean it, and it's mostly useless. Most units don't really need supports. It works out for the Byleth user, who might be Goddess dancing next to a boss and helping the surrounding units hit, but beyond them and your Lucina user, it's not a big deal. With Recreation and Meals, you can rush supports on the few units who actually want them. It's a neat reference if nothing else. His last skill is Mentorship, which also ends up being more of a support skill. It's a strict upgrade to the DLC's lineage, boosting XP gain by 20% rounded down for the Byleth user and adjacent allies. I've given this spiel a few times by now when talking about lineage, but to quickly rehash it, this works out to around half a level for primary combat units. That's pretty much the weakest stat boost you can get. This will not help your most dominant units keep that up. Staff XP and Goddess Dance XP don't have the same soft cap, however, so on support units this can provide a minor boost, keeping them on curve. The best way to sum it up is that a 250 SP it costs to inherit is a fair price. Sometimes overhated on, and it's not like more XP is a bad thing, but don't expect Robin's Veteran from Awakening. Byleth's really given me a lot to say. He's a mechanically complex emblem, and because of how good his best tools are, it's easy to ignore the rest. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're interested in plumbing the depths of Engage, he's definitely an emblem you won't immediately solve. If you keep all of his weapons and bonuses in mind, especially with a diverse team, you'll often find he can help you do something you couldn't otherwise, plugging gaps in what the typical meta units offer. For a long-term Byleth pairing on maps where you don't need a specific Instruct or weapon, his higher level Engage weapons and skills nudge you towards a staff-using support unit. Vidam Sailing deserves special mention, because the pairing makes sense on so many levels. Thyrsa's great mixed offense and Ignis for Byleth's weapons, absurd luck for Divine Pulse, and no big opportunity cost for having her supporting instead of someone else. Other units don't line up quite that well, but that's the kind of unit I generally recommend for your Byleth partner on maps you aren't specifically going for a certain stat buff or Engage weapon. The Illusion Royals can fly, and Elite Sages or High Priests get better magical offense, even if they lose other synergies and sometimes wish they were getting supported instead of the reverse. I would definitely not call myself a Byleth expert. I have all this info banked, but on an average run I'm rarely putting it into practice. I'm hoping this series will push me to do that, the way I found myself exploring Veronica's kit more than usual. I love Byleth's design and Engage. Having these cool options you can only pick one of at a time makes for interesting decisions, and it really is an emblem with enough depth you'll still be learning new tactics with him after hundreds of hours playing the game. Despite that high ceiling, Byleth has an amazing floor. It If you remember to press the blue goddess dance button before the meter runs out, he's already better than your average emblem. You don't have to do more than that to beat the game. Certainly for very fast play, you're mainly going to focus on dancing. But there's many places you're rewarded for cleverly using his myriad bonuses and thinking outside the box. I'm really excited to have him on the team.
Thank you.
As much as I'd like to say the next map will be quick and easy after all that,
Oh my!
out of the frying pan and into the fire. Next time, we return to the DLC for a father-daughter reunion, Crom's Paralogue. The fun part? Every enemy will be promoted. Should be exciting. Papaya papaya.
Another ring in the Divine Dragon's hands. Still, not enough to turn the tide. I must sleep. Curse this feeble form of mine for plunging me into darkness. I pray that next time my waking hours will not end so soon.
Sand? But what happened to all the snow? Where am I? Why does this keep happening to me?